What is up, my fellow unbearables? You are very welcome along to Tuesday night's late night agenda. I don't know why, but I keep thinking that it's Wednesday. It definitely isn't though. It's 100% Tuesday. Welcome along, everybody. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're all safe. The weather isn't great here where I am, but I hope wherever you are, the sun's shining, the birds are singing, and you're all in a good mood. Why wouldn't you be in a good mood? Just in case you haven't remembered, we're champions. Champions. What did I say? Champions. Be as unbearable as possible. Champions. As unbearable as possible. Champions. Unbearable. Champions. Unbearable. Champions. I'm stuck in a loop. What can I do? I can carry on being unbearable because that's what's going to happen. Look, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Anyway, enough of the mess, and I hope that you're all well. There is a packed show for you guys tonight. I'm going to do my best to zing through it in under an hour, but there is a lot of news to get through. Welcome to everybody that's coming into the chat. Lovely to see you all in. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Yusuf, how are you? Julie, I did read your comment before the stream started. Big shout out to Julie Clack. I hope that you're keeping well and keeping Carl in check, because I imagine he's had a few sherbets after celebrating the Premier League title. Look, I know I speak for everybody in the chat, by the way, when I wish Andre Wisdom a full and speedy recovery. For those that aren't aware, at around 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, he was stabbed and robbed by four masked men in the Toxteth area of Liverpool. It's believed that he was visiting a family member, and the incident happened as he was returning to his car. He was stabbed in the backside, his watch was stolen, but thankfully it looks like he's going to make a full recovery. And as I said, I know I speak for all Liverpool fans around the world when we wish him a full and speedy recovery, and our thoughts are of course with his family members. It must have been a horrific experience for everybody to go through. So lots of love to Andre Wisdom, and get well soon, mate. Right, let's start off with some good news then. And Joanne, thank you very much for the super sticker, mate. It isn't an Anfield Agenda live stream unless Joanne puts in the onset. Let's start off with some good news, as I said. And the CAF have confirmed today that the African Cup of Nations has been moved until January 2022, as we previously suggested here on the stream. Now this means that Jurgen Klopp doesn't have to worry about losing Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane for a prolonged period during next season. So we thought this might happen, but it is good news that it is taking place. It does set 2022 up to be a very, very busy season, particularly for African footballers, because you've got the African Cup of Nations in January, and then in November, December that year as well, you've got the World Cup taking place in Qatar. So going to be a very busy year in 2022, but thankfully next season Jurgen Klopp won't have to worry about losing those two lads for a prolonged period of time in the middle of the season. So we did expect it to happen. We were just waiting for confirmation of it, but thankfully I can say that that has been confirmed, and the African Cup of Nations has been moved until January 2022. So there you go, some good news. Right, what have we got? So before we go through my prediction for the Manchester City game, there is a bit of bad news on the injury front. Joel Matip will miss the remainder of the season because of the foot injury that he picked up against Everton. And also, before I go through and do this prediction for the Manchester City game, just a reminder that Anthony Taylor is the man who's going to be in charge of that game. He's going to be the referee in the middle on Thursday night when the Reds travel to the Etihad to get their guard of honour and hopefully pick up 3 points on the way to hopefully a record points total in the Premier League. But look, as I said, we do have a preview to get through, so let's jump straight into my predicted 11 and my score predictions for the game. As always, this was a very difficult choice, and I will pull up the image now in a second, but I just want to caveat a few things, as I always like to do with these previews. We did film some preview last night with Dom Rich FC, who was a Manchester City fan. We did 2 videos. There's one that's up on Dom's channel right now, and then we have a preview that's going to be up on our channel tomorrow afternoon, so please do check that one out. Dom is an absolutely wonderful fella. It was a pleasure chatting with him. Lots of fun. He always brings a smile to my face because he's one of the good guys in this industry, and I'm always happy to chat with them. What else is there? Oh yes, tomorrow night we're going to be in a watch along of the Chelsea West Ham game, just because we're putting up the preview anyway tomorrow, so we might as well just do that for a bit of fun on the channel. As you can see, we are so very close to getting to 40,000 subscribers. If you do enjoy our streams, ladies and gentlemen, please do hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well. That's about to turn to 39.9. It's getting so close. I can't believe we're actually going to do it. But thank you for your support. But look, let's get into this preview for the Manchester City game. And here is the 11 that I've gone with and the score prediction. And I will, of course, talk you through the 11 and get your suggestions on what you'd like to see. And right, here we go. There you go. I love that new change, by the way. Shout out to Connor for making that possible. Right, as you can see, here's my predicted 11. I've gone for Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Gomez and Van Dijk, and of course Andy Robertson. Midfield is the one area where I I'm always baffled as to who the third player is going to be. I've gone for Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, and this time I've gone for Naby Keita because I think he's perfect. I think he's tailor-made for this game. It wouldn't at all surprise me if Klopp goes with Gini Wijnaldum. It wouldn't at all surprise me if he goes with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. But for me, this is what I'm going to have a guess at. And then the front three, obviously, Salah, Mane, Firmino. And then the score prediction that I've gone for, ladies and gentlemen, is 2-2. I think this is going to be a score draw. Manchester City are going to want to lay down a marker. This their gaff. They're going to be hurt by having to give us a guard of honour, which of course they deserve credit for. And I have a little bit of stuff actually I want to talk about later on with regards to the guard of honour. You might have heard Danny Murphy's comments. I have a little something done out that I'll be talking about later on, so stick with us for that one. I think you'll enjoy it. But as you can see, that's my 11. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. The preview that I did with Dom I won't ruin, but keep an eye out for it because you might be shocked by the prediction that he went for. But yeah, give me your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Give me your starting 11, how you think this game is going to pan out. I don't believe for 1 minute that Guardiola is not going to want to win it. He's going to want to win it for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it's going to hurt him to give us the guard of honour onto the pitch, and he's going to want to remind his players that lay down a marker and let them know that you'll be ready to go for next season to try and wrestle back that Premier League title. And look, I imagine it will hurt. It absolutely will hurt for them to do it. But we are the champions, and that's what you got to do. And from our point of view, we obviously want to go to the Etihad, try and pick up some points because we have a record points total to try and overhaul. Manchester City currently the highest ever scoring points total in the Premier League history with 100 points. We're on track to break that, but to do it, we need to win at least 5 or get 15 points or more in our last 7 games. So 5 wins would do it rather nicely. I've predicted 102 points, by the way. I think 5 wins, a draw, and possibly a loss will be how we'll see out the season. Although, don't ask me where that loss is coming from because I honestly don't know. It's very difficult to ever predict Liverpool getting beaten. For this one, I'm actually thinking it's going to be a good open game. We've seen some more cagey affairs between these two sides over the years, but with nothing really on the line in this one other than pride. I think we might see a good open attacking game of football. Manchester City never sit back, particularly at the Etihad, so let's just sit back and wait and see what happens. But I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously no pressure on it from our point of view. It's just a matter of trying to chase down that points total. But after that, I mean, it's what you like really, isn't it? I mean, that's the 11 that I've gone for. Connor Crosby, of course, reckons that we'll win it. And Scotty said, Craig, I'd bring Jones off the bench and Elliott as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. It depends how the game goes, mate. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be looking about bringing anybody off the bench. I mean, if the game's 1-1, bringing Jones and Elliott off the bench wouldn't really make sense. But if we're a couple of goals up, then perhaps. We will have a strong bench, and just a reminder, both clubs are allowed to put 9 players on the bench for these games. You can bring on 5 substitutions as well. So, again, keep your comments coming. Keep your thoughts on this one. Aguero playing to Logan. No, he is out for the remainder of the season, mate. He had an operation. I think it was his knee that he injured. I think he had the operation in Barcelona as well, if my memory serves me correct. Right, what have we got? Fernando's gone for Alisson, Trent, VVD. Joe Gomez, Robbo, Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Mane, Bobby. That's usually what I go for in these games, mate. I do usually put Gini Wijnaldum in there. The only reason that I've gone for Naby this time is I think we might freshen it up because we've got a lot of games coming up in a short period now. So we've got this game on Thursday, obviously playing down on Sunday as well. And yeah, the games are going to come thick and fast between now and the end of the season. Right, what else have we got? Right, 3-0. None of the top players will play tomorrow. It's Thursday, mate, but we'll allow you that one because I keep thinking it's Wednesday as well, pal. I think they will play their top players. I don't buy for 1 minute that Guardiola's going to go weak in this game because he said that he would have one eye on the FA Cup game when they were playing City or when they were playing Chelsea, and they absolutely didn't. He went pretty fucking strong for that game against Chelsea, so I don't believe for 1 minute that Pep Guardiola isn't one to go and gonna want to go and win this game. But look, that's just my 2 cents on it anyway. Please do keep your comments coming on what you guys think about this one. Get the young lads on, said Connor, so they can get the 5 appearances they need to get medals. Yeah, we will have to keep an eye on that situation as well for the remainder of the season. I would add Origi for Mane, so they are in gaming. I genuinely would be baffled if Origi starts this game. I mean, Minamino I think will be more likely than Divock, but again, Klopp might spring a surprise on us. This is the beauty of Klopp. He sometimes does do that. He sometimes does shake things up a little bit. Right, what have we got? Hi Craig, how are you? I'm great. Thankful that Sane is gone, said Young Irish. Well, he's not gone just yet. I think he will still be available for the remainder of the season, unless I'm wrong on that one. And this is a moving subject. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, it has been confirmed that Leroy Sané will be going from Manchester City to Bayern Munich for, I think, a fee in and around 55 million, something like that. It was breaking about an hour or so ago. So, as we record this, the news is just coming out. So, yeah, there you go. Somebody said Minamino was a bad signing. Fuck you, Minamino was not a bad signing. He's only here a wet day. Give the lad a chance to settle in. And if you're a Liverpool fan saying that, hang your head in shame, because you've no place. You've no place to say that. Do you know what? It's enough. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I'm already angry enough about certain things and I don't want to kick somebody out of the chat again. But how anybody can look at Takumi Minamino at £7.25 million and say he's a bad signing when he's only been here since January and he's played, 200, 300 minutes of football for Liverpool in the Premier League. And Liverpool fans who, I use fans very fucking loosely when I talk about this because I don't class anybody that could belittle a player that's only just come to the club like that and say he's a bad signing. As a fan, I call you a dickhead if I'm being honest about it because it's a shithouse thing to say. Any news of Aguero? Is he fit for the match? No, as I just said a minute ago, he is ruled out of the game. He's ruled out the rest of the season from what I can gather, Sergio Aguero. Right. 1 second. He's a good signing to LFC 3 and how said Subi. I don't get it. I don't get how you could belittle somebody that has only just arrived to the club and you're supposed to be a Liverpool fan. Baffles me. Anyway, keep your comments coming on this game. Let me know what you think. Reactor Sincere said Fernandinho is out, obviously because he picked up that red card because of his handball against Chelsea. That'll ruin him out of the game. Rule him out of the game, Craig. Get your shit together. David Carroll said, give the lad a break. He'll be brilliant. Exactly, David. Well said, mate. Well in. Kieran Shield said, I would put Oxlade-Chamberlain in if he plays well against City. Or he does play well against City, excuse me. Yeah, I'd have no problem with that, mate. I love Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's really difficult because with Milner out, the options are somewhat limited. Now, we could go with Lallana, but that would surprise me because we know Lallana's heading off at the end of the season. And Nathaniel Klein, by the way, his contract at Liverpool ends today. So from tomorrow, he will be a free agent and he can go wherever he likes. And look, I just want to take a second to say thank you to Nathaniel Klein for his time with the club. I know it didn't end how he probably wanted it to, but for a very long time, Nathaniel Klein was an excellent right back for us. So sincerely wish him well wherever he might head off. Right, what have we got? Don't you think City's defence is shaky? Said Reactor Sincere. Absolutely. It's the one area of the pitch where I think Manchester City can be gotten at, and it's the one area where I fully expect Pep Guardiola to go out and strengthen in this window. Because it's weird saying that they're weak in defence when they have spent 50 million on fullbacks, 50 million on John Stones, on a shitload on Walker. And yet we're still here saying that it's the weak point of their team. It's madness. It is absolutely madness. If there's one critique of Guardiola, I think it's that he has been a bit wrong in the defenders that he's bought. I think apart from Laporte, who was an excellent centre-back, I don't think any of us would deny that. And Mendy hasn't quite worked out. Kyle Walker, in my opinion, is a very good athlete, but not the greatest of defenders when it comes to the actual art of defending. Otamendi, fairly average to me. John Stones just simply has not lived up to that price tag, and I don't think ever will live up to the price tag. And even Ederson hasn't been as good as Ederson was when he first came to the club. Now, I'm not going to put down Ederson and say he's a shit keeper, far from it. But if you're asking me who's better between him and Alisson, I'm going for our boy every single day of the week. I think he is far more consistent than Ederson, and I've seen Ederson give the ball away way too much, which, can happen when you play sweeper keeper role and you have so much distribution. I think he often at times has some of the most passes in that Manchester City team. But yeah, look, anyway, that's my starting 11 for the game. That's my score prediction. Let me see, what else have you guys got before I move on to the next piece of news? LFC has gone for Alisson, VVD, Gomez, Trent, Keita, Fabinho, Hendo, Mane, Salah, Firmino. I think that's pretty much what I've gone with as well. You ready for the Hendo shuffle in the last game? Said the Unbearables 2020. I absolutely am, pal. I'm actually getting myself ready. Do you know, I'm practicing my Hendo shuffle. You hear the footsteps? Watch the fat jiggle. I'm practicing. I'm getting ready. And for those that aren't aware, the Hendo Shuffle will be taking place for the last home game of the season, which is scheduled to be Chelsea. It was supposed to be July the 18th, but with Chelsea taking their place in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, that's probably going to be moved back a few days. So we may have to wait just that little bit longer to see the Hendo Shuffle. Right, what else have we got before I move on? Subi, talk to you soon, my friend. So that would mean Klopp's a better manager when it comes to spending money on players, i.e. Robertson, 8 million, he's now world class, no right back is better than Liverpool. I would agree. The work that Jurgen Klopp, Michael Edwards and our recruitment team and the scouting team have done is second to none, in my opinion. There's very few players that Liverpool have signed that I look at and think that we've gotten it wrong. You could make an argument for Karius and I'd absolutely accept that, but even at that, he was only, if my memory's right, £4.5 million, something like that, for Loris Karius when we brought him in. But as you said, you like to say that we spent 8 million on Robbo, and that's right, but I like to think of it a different way. I like to think of it that we swapped them for Kevin Stewart because we sent the other way to Hull, and it's still, it's almost criminal. It's almost criminal what we did there, but you know what? Who gives a fuck, because we've got him now. And I'm expecting this, as I said, to be a very open, entertaining game of football. City are going to want to come and win it. We're going to want to win it. I don't think it's going to be as cagey as previous affairs. Sometimes these games can cancel, the teams can cancel each other out a little bit. Both master tacticians at what they do, Pep and Kloppo. So, look, it's what you like, ladies and gentlemen. We will know on Thursday as well. And, of course, it's a game that we will be covering on the channel 100%. And we also have a preview coming up that we recorded, as I said, with Dom Rich FC, Manchester City fan. And that'll be up on the channel tomorrow. So I hope you guys give that a view. Right, let's get on to the next piece of information that we have to talk about. And as you can see, if you want to become a member of the channel, by the way, hit that blue join button. Membership's just 99p a month. You get use of all these custom emojis that you can see in the image beside me, and you also get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name and access to the Anfield Agenda Discord group, which it's starting to fill up, by the way. There's over 100 people in our Discord group now. Great to see everybody in there, but we've got over 200 members. So if you are a member and you haven't yet joined the Discord group, please do check out the community tab on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel, and you'll see a link there to bring you if you're a member. Also, these mugs, by the way, these mugs that you can see now on the screen, we've decided that these are a limited edition run. We're going to stop selling them on Sunday. So if you do want to buy one of these mugs that have been designed by Mr. Connor Crosby to celebrate the Reds winning the Premier League for the first time, you can do so by buying them via the link in the description below. If you are a member of the channel, again, community tab on the Anfield Agenda YouTube page, and there is a discount code there for members. But for everybody else, there is a link in the description if you want to go and get yourself a mug, because Sunday is the last day. They're going to be gone from Sunday. We're going to stop selling them. So yeah, get yourselves one of these if you like them. Right, let's move on. Loads to get through. It's really a packed show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let me just change a few things around before I move on. Right, so transfer gossip time. I know you guys like a little bit of transfer news, and there isn't too much from a Liverpool perspective, but there are some things that have happened today. As we know, just spoke about it a minute ago, Leroy Sané has been confirmed as being going from Manchester City to Bayern Munich. And we also spoke yesterday about the deal for Arthur to go from Barcelona to Juventus, and then a deal for Miralem Pjanic to go from Juventus to Barcelona. That's as well happening. So after that, the big news today, I suppose, was around Jadon Sancho. And I'm sure that you guys seen this earlier on. So Borussia Dortmund are asking around £100 million for Jadon Sancho. And Manchester United, who've also been linked with him as well as Liverpool, have told Sky Sports that they won't pay above £50 million for the 20-year-old. Now, you're not going to get him for £50 million. It's as simple as that. There is absolutely no way that Borussia Dortmund are going to sell Jadon Sancho for £50 million. He is worth more than that. They know he's worth more than that. Even in this market, he's worth more than £50 million. So I don't know if this is Manchester United maybe saying to their supporters that, you know, we haven't got as much money as maybe the media thought we have to go out and get some transfers. They might have to look elsewhere. I don't know if it's a negotiating tactic. I don't know what Liverpool's interest is. We did hear Jurgen Klopp speaking about Jadon Sancho and saying that he'd look good in a red shirt, but he also went on to say that he'd be as surprised as anybody if Jadon Sancho ended up at Liverpool in this window. Again, I want to cast your mind back to something that I've said previously. Jan Fjorthoff, who's somebody who covers European football extensively, he said before that it's not unusual for deals to be agreed a year in advance in the Bundesliga. So maybe Jadon Sancho stays for one more year and then moves on to whoever it might be the following year. I don't know. There is, of course, a Koulibaly story today, because it wouldn't be an Anfield Agenda stream unless we had a running joke about Koulibaly. So today's Koulibaly story comes from Sport Witness, who believe that Manchester City are the only team in the race to sign the defender from Napoli. They go on to say that Napoli chief Aurelio De Laurentiis has made it clear to the player and his agent that he needs at least €90 million to strike a deal for Koulibaly. And as I've said all along, there is no way on God's green earth that Liverpool are going to go out there and drop €90 million on a 29-year-old defender that we may or may not need. Now, I was reading comments on a YouTube channel, and of course I love to read comments because I love to get a view of what everybody's thinking. And there are some people who suggested that Liverpool should go out and sign Koulibaly just to stop Manchester City getting him. Now, I get where you're coming from, but that's not the way the Klopp own this club do business, and that's not the way that we should be doing business, in my humble opinion. We've seen cases before where other clubs have stepped in to block transfers. Again, I'm going to cast your mind back to when Manchester United took Alexis Sanchez from under the nose of Manchester City, and that didn't really work out too well. Now, I'm not trying to compare Alexis Sanchez with Koulibaly, because Koulibaly is an excellent defender, and I'd love him at the club. I'd absolutely love to see him alongside Virgil van Dijk in the heart of that Liverpool defence. But I think that the money, if there is money to be spent from Liverpool, can be spent better elsewhere. And if Manchester City get a free run at Koulibaly, then so be it. But they're going to have to drop a shit ton of money to get the guy, and they may not even have European football for a season, maybe two. I guess we'll find out about that in the coming weeks as well. Timo Werner has been speaking about his move to Chelsea, and here's a little bit of what Timo Werner had to say. Inter Milan, Manchester United and Liverpool wanted me. Yes, I could have gone there to these teams. The best clubs fought for me. The entire Chelsea package in the end, however, turned out to be best in my career. Money played a marginal role. Marginal, Timo? Come on, mate. Be fucking honest. Marginal? Anyway, we go on. He says, the entire Chelsea package in the end, as I said, turned out to be the best in my career. Money played a marginal role. For me, money was never a decisive factor. Otherwise, I could have gone to China. Yeah, and ruined your fucking career, mate, because who's gone to China and actually progressed their career? So nobody's saying that it was all about the money, Timo, but you know, the 200 grand a week probably helps, mate. He goes on to say that Chelsea's the leading club in European football. There's a team of great quality. We want to get to the top. I don't regret my decision, even for a second. So look, that's what he had to say. Let's see how it works out for him at Chelsea. There's no denying that he's going to get a lot of game time there, and he's going to get the opportunity to shine. I probably reckon he'll stay there for a few years, then maybe move on somewhere else. I don't know, but that is the latest news on Timo Werner. Right, Danny Murphy. Oh, Danny Murphy. Danny Murphy. Where to start with this one, ladies and gentlemen? I really don't know where to start with the Danny Murphy stuff, but strap yourselves in, because you know you're going to enjoy this one, I think. So Danny Murphy has been talking complete nonsense, although that's not new, unfortunately. So he was talking about Manchester City giving Liverpool a guard of honour at the Etihad, and the point of the whole team seems to have passed by Danny Murphy a little bit. Now here's just a taste of what Danny Murphy had to say. Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder probably in the world, and he's clapping his hands and giving a guard of honour to players who can't even lace his boots. I'll let you in on a little secret here, Danny, and this is just between me and you, pal. To start off with, Kevin De Bruyne wears fucking laces boots, pal. Doesn't wear laces in his shoes, but we'll push that to one side, Danny, and we'll move on a little bit. So, individuals don't win league titles, Danny. It's not about who's the best player. It's about who's the best fucking team, pal. And Liverpool have, without a shadow of a doubt, been the best team. Hence the reason we're about to lift the Premier League. But even at that, mate, this Liverpool team are so special because of the combined efforts of a truly exceptional group of players, mate, and the support staff, not to mention our manager Jurgen Klopp. The fact that people like Murphy are continuously given a platform to spout their ridiculous opinions really drives me fucking insane. The man is a former Liverpool player and he constantly talks shit about a club that he played for. Just shut the fuck up, mate. If you've nothing good to say, as my mother used to say nothing at all. Although I don't really listen to that too much because, you know, I do talk a load of crap, to be fair, but at least I know I talk crap. So, here's the thing. So you say that Kevin De Bruyne isn't fit to lace, or these players aren't fit to lace Kevin De Bruyne's boots. We're talking about the best front three in world football here. We're talking about Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino and Mohamed Salah, a back-to-back Golden Boot winner who could potentially be on for a hat-trick. Now, are they not fit to lace Kevin De Bruyne's boots? I seriously think that they are, mate. Then we'll move on to the back five. So we've got potentially, or arguably, one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. We've got full-backs who are breaking assist records left, right and centre. We've got a centre-back who was the best player in the world last year, who won an award to say that he was the best player in the world, who was robbed of the Ballon d'Or, and who was widely regarded as one of the best defenders in Premier League history. But yet Danny still thinks none of our players are fit to lace their boots. Now, we'll move on to the midfield area, the area of the pitch where we're talking about Jordan Henderson here, a man who has won a Premier League, a man who has won a Champions League. So is Fabinho. a man who have won World Club Cups. Now, I just want to draw your attention to one thing, Danny. You know these players who aren't fit to lace Kevin De Bruyne's boots? Well, they've won the fucking European Cup, pal. They've won the Club World Cup. Has Kevin De Bruyne won that? No, even though they're not fit to lace his boots. These lads all have Champions League winners' medals. These lads all have Club World Cup winners' medals. It's time to stop talking bollocks, Danny. It's time to shut up. And you can also take your bullshit apology, pal, and stick it. Because the only reason you're apologising is because of the backlash from your ridiculous post, mate. And just shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you have to say. You're irrelevant now. You're on TalkSport. You're talking shite a lot of the time. Just stop, Danny. Just stop. Just stop, mate, because you're embarrassing yourself the more you open your mouth, pal. Backtracking just makes you look like a coward, man. If you're going to say something, stand over it. And don't just backtrack because, I'm sorry, because, you're sorry because people called you out on social media. You're sorry because even the Echo called you out for your nonsense and the fact that you missed the point about what was going on. You missed the whole point of the Guard of Honour. Something that's been around for probably 100 years. But all of a sudden, when we win the title and one of our former players should be out there congratulating them, he's saying, nah. No, this is ridiculous. This Guard of Honour stuff, I wouldn't want it. Well, you didn't get a chance to fucking do it, Danny, did you? Because you didn't win the league, pal. These players have won the league. They're a special group. Give them the respect that they deserve and stop belittling the club. They're paid your wages, pal. Just shut up. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Just go back into fucking insignificance, pal. Because you are an average player at best that shouldn't have even worn the Liverpool shirt. You scored a couple of decent goals for us, mate. And that's pretty much it. So just stop, Murphy. Just stop, mate. That's all I have to say in it. I'm absolutely sick of Danny Murphy. I'm sick of Stan Collymore. I'm sick of all of these former players that stick the boot in to what is a truly exceptional group of players. Put some fucking respect on Jordan Henderson's name. Put some fucking respect on this group's name. And most of all, put some fucking respect on our manager's name. Because they've earned this league title and they deserve that Guard of Honour on that pitch. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on because if I don't stop ranting about Danny Murphy, you'll see steam coming out of my ears. I swear to God, it's just ridiculous. Right, Danny Murphy is irrelevant, said Dwight Lewis. He really is. I mean, again, I'm going to move on. Ladies and gentlemen. What is the AFCON? The African Cup of Nations, Alfie. That's what the AFCON is. Danny Murphy's a tosser, said Remy. I've never liked him, personally, if I'm being honest about it. I don't like him on Match of the Day. I don't like the fact that he's on TalkSport. And I don't like that he's given a platform to spout, in my opinion, his ridiculous views. And if these people talk shit, then they've every right to be called out on it. But look, don't backtrack. So you said what you said. Own up to it. Stop apologising and like a clown. Just stand over it. You said what you said. You thought you were Billy Big Bollocks. Then you were called out on it. And all of a sudden it's... and just stop. Just stop, mate. Just stop. Just, you know what I mean? Just stop. You're just making it worse. Right. Best group of players we've ever had, period, said Paul M. Any news on Genie? No, unfortunately, mate. No news on Genie Wijnaldum. I wish I did. I wish I could come on here and tell you guys that he'd signed a new deal, but no, nothing yet. A little bit of a blast in the past, by the way, but the Echo have been quoted as saying that Liverpool gave serious consideration to bringing in Eddie Howe when we were moving on Brendan Rodgers. So apparently the story goes there was 3 contenders for the Liverpool job, and they were Carlo Ancelotti, Jurgen Klopp and Eddie Howe. Now, Eddie Howe I can kind of understand. Bournemouth were flying quite high at the time, doing really well. Eddie Howe is still very highly thought of throughout the game, and rightly so. He's a very good young manager. Carlo Ancelotti, look, I think that's what we all thought at the time. It was between Kloppo and Carlo Ancelotti. And to be fair, there was a lot of Liverpool fans who wanted Ancelotti to come to the club, and I can understand why. He's a winner through and through. I don't think he'll be winning too much at Everton, to be fair, but I will always respect him as a manager because of what he's achieved in the game. But I think we can all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that the club made the right decision in appointing Jurgen Klopp. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Do you know what I mean? Trophies are coming thick and fast. The players keep improving every single season. And I just love the fact that we have him at I'm still pinching myself that Jurgen Klopp is our manager. And I know it's 4.5 years on, and I'm genuinely still in disbelief that this beautiful, crazy, articulate, passionate man is in charge of this football club, but at least the playing side of this football club. I absolutely love having him here. It's never going to get old for me. Every time I look at him, I just have nothing but admiration, and pride just wants to burst out of my chest looking at Kloppo, because he has You can use the phrase doubters to believers, you can use whatever the hell you want, but one thing is, he has progressed us every single season. Even last season, during the summer, some of us were a little bit disheartened because the club didn't really go out there and strengthen too much. We did bring in Harvey Elliott, we did bring in Sepp van den Berg, but how wrong were we? Because Klopp owned this group, came back this season and put up a potential record-breaking points total and absolutely walked the league. I mean, 23 points clear. It's ridiculous. We've won the league with 7 games to go. We could break the record for the most home wins in a row. We could break the record for the most victories in a season. We could break the record for the most points in the season. What a special group this is. Oh, and by the way, just in case I haven't reminded you, we're motherfucking champions, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are. Champions of the Premier League. Hendo Shuffle incoming in the Chelsea game. I cannot wait. Last thing, by the way, looking a little bit further ahead, there's been some news with regard to the referees for our upcoming game. So Paul Tierney has been confirmed as the referee for the Reds game against Aston Villa at Anfield on Sunday. And Craig Pawson will be the man in the middle when we travel to play Brighton at the Amex on July the 8th. So that's just a little bit of news for you guys on that. But look, let me hand it over to you now for the last 20 minutes or so. Whatever you want to talk about, folks, the floor is yours. Again, memberships are open, super chats are open, super stickers are open. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the stream. Let's see if we can make that number change to 39.9 and we close in on that 40k end of season target, because we really are getting close. And also tomorrow we're going to be doing the Chelsea game at West Ham. We're going to be covering that on YouTube and on Hot Mic. So again, if you haven't downloaded the Hot Mic app, you know what to do at this point. You've heard me talking about it enough times. I'm not going to go on about it anymore. Right, let's go. Let's get your comments. What have we got to say? Hello everybody, said Mark. How are you, Mark? Lovely to see you in. Imagine Klopp with Manchester City money. He'd honestly win every game 5 or 6-0, said the Irish Beard. We're champions of England, said Matthew Evans. Yeah, we are, pal. Yeah, we are. And that's never going to get old. Do you think Mane will sign the new contract? Why would he need to sign the new contract, Remy? He only signed a new contract last year. All the front three did, on improved terms. I don't think that there's any need for them to sign the new deal, buddy. They're pretty well incentivised at the club right now. I think the front three, along with Van Dijk, are the highest paid players. I think. I'm fairly certain that they are. I think they're on somewhere between 180 and 200 grand a week. So there's no need for them to sign a new deal at this moment in time. Randy, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Newest member to the family. Lovely to have you with us, sir. Thank you very much for signing up. Don't forget to join the Discord group as well, buddy. Look forward to seeing you in there. Bernadette Farrell has said, Klopp lied to us. He said he was the normal one. He's more special than the special one. He's the magnificent one. I love that, Bernadette. Well said, my friend. He absolutely is the magnificent one. I love him. I love him so fucking much. I mean, I wonder how many kids are going to be called Jurgen in Liverpool now over the next few years. You know, particularly over what's happened in the last week since we won the Premier League title. Oh, did I not mention that we won the Premier League title? We only went and won the Premier League title, ladies and gentlemen. And as I keep reminding you, wonderful people, it is each and every one of our jobs to be as unbearable as is humanly possible, because it's the right thing to do. It's what all the opposition fans would want us to do, because, you know, we're known for being so jolly, so jovial. We don't rub it in people's faces. Yeah, we fucking do, because you bastards deserve it for all those years of abuse, all those years of shit. Oh, the chickens are coming home to roost, my friend. They are coming home to roost. We did get a super chat, so that means one thing. Newland breaks out a little buggy. You know, Randy's joined the members, and we got a super chat from Bernadette. So Newland comes out for a little buggy. Look at him go. Look at him go. Look, he's loving it. Newland's loving it. He's been on a sesh. He's been on a sesh since we won that Premier League title. I can't believe it. I can't believe there's still 7 games to go, and we're already sitting here with our big Premier League winning lads on the table just going badoink. Deal with it. Deal with it, ladies and gentlemen, because we are Premier League champions, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Nothing. Even if the season was to be curtailed now and the worst came to the worst, we've already won it. So there's absolutely nothing anybody can do about it. What have we got? Mane to PSG plus €199. I think he meant million probably. Could have happened in 2021. I don't know. I honestly don't know. If we were to move on one of the front three at some point, and nobody wants them to move on, I got to reiterate that point, then maybe it's possible. We have a lad from Liverpool who's just won the league, said Matthew Evans. Klopp actually said in 2015 we'd win the league within 4 years. I don't think he used the word league. I think he said a title. If my memory is correct, I think the phraseology was we'll win a title within 4 years. I think, but I could be wrong on that one. And don't be a smart arse about it, mate, because you were a smart arse earlier on about Takumi Minamino, and you're already walking a tightrope here, buddy, because that was a shithouse thing to say. Ash said, I pissed off a United fan today. Well played, Ash. Well played, mate. Lots of respect. Is Liverpool versus Manchester City on Sky Sports? I think it is, Alfie. I'm fairly sure it's on Sky Sports. It's on television. I just don't know what channel it's on. I think it's on Sky Sports. Somebody in the chat will let you know, mate, but I think it's on Sky Sports. But again, it is a game that we'll be doing a watch-along of on the channel. We'll be starting about 30 minutes before kick-off, so I hope you can join us for that one on both YouTube and, of course, on Hot Mic. He definitely said title, said Stephen Booker. There you go. See? If there's always loopholes. You know what I mean? Klopp was clever. He would have known what he said, and there's always loopholes. Even allowing for the bit of a language barrier at the time, because he spoke English, but he was still, learning, and you have to get used to it a bit more. I'm doing really good, thank you, Mo Patel. Lovely to see you, and mate, I hope you're well. Any news on Saka from Arsenal, said Dara Hendrick Kinsley, excuse me. No, mate, not that I've seen. Again, all I can tell you about Saka is that Arteta and Arsenal want him to sign a new deal. I'd love us to get him, but I think we're just going to have to wait and see with this window. I think there might be a lot of late business done because clubs want to wait and see how the coronavirus plays out and when potentially fans can get back inside stadiums. I want to say again that there was talk a while back that the Community Shield, or whatever it's called these days, could potentially be used as a test to see if you can get some fans back inside Wembley ahead of the season, and I've no idea if that'll be confirmed or not. I think we'll have to wait and see how things progress over the coming weeks and months. It's on Sky Sports main event. Thank you very much, Joanna, and to everybody else in the chat that said that. Right, what else have we got? What do you reckon the price tag will be on Saka, said Copboy Keith. It's very difficult to know, mate, because he's got 1 year left on his Arsenal contract, but even if they let him go, run down his contract and he went for free the following year, isn't there that clause that, because he's under a certain age and he was brought through Arsenal's youth system, wouldn't they be due compensation anyway? So even if he did go on a free, it would probably end up at a tribunal where they'd be due some money. Now, I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think that might be the case. So it would have to be a decent offer, I think, to move him on this summer. And I don't think Arteta will let him go this summer. I think he'd rather, try and get another year out of him, show him that Arsenal are progressing, maybe guarantee some European football, some Champions League football the following year, and show the kid that, there's a pathway through here for you. We really want you to stay at the club. You'll get your game time here. You'll be able to progress here. You'll get experience in European football. And at least that's what I hope. If I was an Arsenal fan, that's what I hope the manager would be saying to him. And look, Arteta's no mug. I'm sure he knows exactly what to say. Right, Saka's a left back, left wing cover would be brilliant, said Stephen O'Connor. From what I've read, and again, this is just what I've read, I think he doesn't really want to be pigeonholed as a left back. I think he sees himself a little bit further forward down that left hand side. Now, at Liverpool, our full backs are basically, wingers anyway, aren't they? And they tuck back in then when we're defending. How is it possible for these clubs to sign players and Liverpool might not? I don't get it. I love Liverpool to go out and buy a player that rivals make salty. We get it against us so much. Well, we kind of got that with Virgil van Dijk, mate, to be fair. And we did, for a short period, I think, break the goalkeeping record when we signed Alisson as well. So, but I get where you're coming from. And I don't know. I don't know what clubs' finances are. And we've no idea what's going to happen yet because nobody has really pulled the trigger on transfers yet in the Premier League. Chelsea have brought in Werner and they'd agreed a deal to sign Ziyech, but they also had a transfer ban for a window or two, and they have the money coming in for Alvaro Morata from Atletico, and they of course sold what's his face to Hazard to Real Madrid. Sorry, my mind went blank there for a second. Yeah, they sold Eden Hazard to Real Madrid, so they got a good chunk of money for him as well. Do you think the new substitution rules will make a difference for Liverpool, said Dara. I love the new substitution rules, by the way, Dara. Let me just point that one out. And particularly when you've already got the league in the bag, you know that you can make 5 changes if needs be. So yeah, I like it. I think it could be a good thing for our younger players. Definitely gives Klopp more options from the bench, but maybe it does favour the big clubs a little bit. I've often wondered about this because we've seen yesterday when Burnley were playing, I think they could only field 7 substitutes on the bench for that game. They couldn't even, make up the 9 substitutes because of injuries and that. So it might be that clubs like Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, that have that strength and depth, that have those big squads, it might be a bit more beneficial. But then again, maybe you seen what happened at Chelsea when they couldn't go into the transfer market. They had to bring through some youngsters, and maybe this will be an opportunity for some clubs to give those youngsters a bit of a run out. And as somebody pointed out in the chat earlier on, we'd all love to see Harvey Elliott get some more minutes. We'd all love to see Curtis Jones get some more minutes. And shout out to Raheem Brewster as well, by the way, because he didn't score earlier on, but he pretty much did score. He hit a belter of a free kick in Swansea's 1-1 draw that went off the crossbar, hit the goalkeeper and went in, but it was an unbelievable strike from young Raheem Brewster in that 1-1 draw away at Millwall. So well done to him on continuing a really good vein of form. And I watched the game, and I have to say he took up some very good positions, could have had himself a goal right at the end of the first half as well. And he's progressing rather nicely there, so well done to Raheem Brewster. And look, we all love the kid, and we know he's got a big future at this football club. Right, why all the hullabaloo over new signings? Whatever happened to youth progression? Said Malcontent. And that's it. I think as fans, often we think that we have to go in and add quality, don't we? We have to go into the market and add players, and it's about getting the mix right, because we do have great youngsters on our books, and there has to be a pathway for those kids to go through. And how great would it be if our business was done 2-3 years in advance, and then these kids progressed through and we got them to break into the first team? Because that's the dream. That has to be the dream. That has to be the dream from a business point of view, and that has to be the dream from just having kids come through the academy and show there's a pathway through. Because the knock-on effect from kids being able to break into the first team means that, one, you can attract those players. It means that parents who maybe are thinking of putting their kids into the academy will go, all right, well, Trent made it through. Curtis made it through. Harvey Elliott they brought in, but he's getting an opportunity. Raheem Brewster made it through. And this just gives more of an incentive for players to come in. And we see right now, we're in a period where Jadon, Sancho and some other players, they're going off to Germany to try and get minutes because they can't get it in the Premier League, because managers are under so much pressure and things are so short-sighted at times because, 3, 4, 5 bad results and you're out the door. So the opportunity to get to play these younger players is a little bit more difficult. So yeah, again, I know this is all leading back to the conversation about the substitutes, but it was a fair point. What have we got? Ronald OMG said, hey mate, City fan here, been sub for around 1.5 years. Just want to congratulate you guys on the title, which you deserved. Apparently we might be playing a weaker team on Thursday, so go easy. Ronald, firstly mate, thank you. One, for being a subscriber mate for 1.5 years, that's amazing, thank you. And secondly, for having the good grace mate, which to be fair, a lot of opposition fans have, to just drop in and congratulate us, man. It means a lot. Thank you, pal. And I know that our subscribers will appreciate it as well. Randy said, Craig, would you play second string players on the first team? I go for the century of points. I want the points, mate. Go back, Randy, and watch streams from earlier on in the season. I've made no bones about the fact that I want Liverpool to break this points total. I didn't give a shit about an invincible season. People were going on about that for ages, and again, I'm not lying, you can go back and check this out. I said all along that the one I wanted was to break Manchester City's 100 points, because for me, that would make us the greatest team in the Premier League era in one season. Now, I've got to point out the one season part because, Manchester United had a very good run of form in the Premier League. I'm sure you know. Arsenal, very good run as well. Chelsea, very good run. And of course, this Manchester City team have won league titles at a canter. They stuck up 98 points. They stuck up 100 points. And for me, I just want Liverpool to break the 100 points barrier to go down, in my opinion, as the greatest team of the Premier League era, within one season, of course. And it would be 100 points then, each season averaged out over 2 years as well, which would be nice. If you got 102 and 98 last year, 200 points in 2 seasons, it's not too shabby, is it? What else we got? Brewster is definitely better than just needs games behind him, said Keith. 100 points bigger than Invincible, said Tom Hart. Yeah, I mean, the Invincible thing is great, don't get me wrong. I'll never belittle that achievement, but you stuck 12 draws in there, do you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't been done, and they deserve credit for it, and I won't belittle it, but I've always said, to me, it's about putting the most points on the board. And I view Manchester City's team that got 100 points as the greatest team in the Premier League era within one season. If we were to break that record, then I think that would have to go to us. But that's just my opinion. I'm a Liverpool fan, and obviously I'm going to think that way at this moment in time. Mad about for the rest of the season, said Dara. Yep, we touched on that earlier on. So just for those of you coming in a little bit late, let me run through the points that we spoke about earlier on. We started out with the news that the African Cup of Nations has been moved to January 2022, which means that Jurgen Klopp won't have to worry about being without Sadio Mane and Mo Salah for a prolonged period during next season, which is good news. Then we went on to go through the predictions and start for the Manchester City game. Bit of a spoiler, I went for 2-2, but I'm sure you can check back later on and go through what we went with. Then we went and talked about transfers. We spoke about the fact that Sky Sports said that they were told by Manchester United that they're not going to spend, or they're not willing to go above £50 million to sign Jadon Sancho in this window. I don't think that's going to buy Jadon Sancho. We spoke about Koulibaly, who Sport Witness said that Manchester City are the only team left in the running to sign Koulibaly. And then we went on to talk about Timo Werner and his comments at Chelsea. That's been pretty much it. Nice top, Craig, said Nathan. Thank you, mate. I'm surprised you can see me. Do you know what I mean? I'm so camouflaged here. Just, I'm like Predator here. Just melting into my surroundings. I'm like a chameleon. I know it's chameleon, but if anybody watched How I Met Your Mother, they'll know what I mean by saying chameleon. Sané confirmed to Bayern. It's not by Fabrizio Romano. Will you fuck off with the Fabrizio Romano? It's being confirmed by every sports outlet in the world. Let's not be giving credit to Fabrizio Romano here for confirming a fucking transfer that the whole world knew was happening. I mean, it's alright that you have favourite journalists and all, but it was confirmed by the clubs. It was confirmed by everybody, mate, because it's been all over the place. So, you know what I mean? Let's be fair about this. Would you take 93 points next season if I offered it to you now? Said Kent Coastal Holiday Let's. That's a tough question, man. That is a very tough question, because I do think it'll be a more competitive league next season. 93 points. Do you know, I don't know, man. It's a really tough question. No. I'm going to say no. If you up that to 95, I might take it. But I don't know about 93. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad sitting here saying no. No to 93 points like that. Danny's going for a 4-1 win to Liverpool. Liverpool beat City 3-0, said Ken Coastal Holiday Let's. Think we're going to batter them, to be honest, said Danny as well. And Scott reckons, I should say, that it wouldn't be enough. I don't know, it's difficult to know, because it will be a more competitive league next year. I don't think we're going to walk away with the amount of points that we have this season. And that might mean that more points are taken off teams, do you know what I mean? So if Chelsea are more competitive, if United are more competitive, City are obviously going to be competitive. I don't know, it might be enough. It's hard to say. Bobby wants a goal on Thursday, so Bernard Sweeney. CDS Bros going for a 3-2 win to Liverpool. Nice. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, you can do me one favour before we finish up in a few minutes. If you have enjoyed the stream, or you enjoy what we do on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, because as you can see here, we're on the road to 40k. We're really, really close to getting there. I think we might actually do it during the West Ham Chelsea watch along tomorrow. But our goal for the season was to try and get to 40,000 subscribers before the season finished. I think we're about 3 or 4 subscribers away from getting to 39,900. So you can help us out with that one. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I'm going to do about 5 or 6 more minutes. So if you have any more questions or comments, please do put them in the chat. And again, just a reminder that we have a pre-recorded video that's going to go up tomorrow evening. We recorded an interview, or a preview, with Dom Rich, who's a Manchester City fan, and that was really good fun, and thank you to Dom for coming on. We're also going to be doing a watch along of West Ham versus Chelsea on the channel tomorrow, and then of course on Thursday, Connor's going to be joining me for Liverpool, travelling to the Etihad to take on Manchester City and receive that fantastic guard of honour from Pep Guardiola and those Manchester City players. And I'm really looking forward to doing it. I love doing these games with Connor now, because it's cool. I enjoy it. It's more fun that I get to have a bit of banter with him as well during the games. Would you keep Harry Wilson as a backup for Salah? Personally, Viren, I wouldn't. If the right money came in for Harry Wilson, I'd move him on. I think Harvey Elliott looks like a better player to me. We've got Raheem Brewster, who'll probably go back out on loan for a season to get more minutes. I've got Takumi Minamino. We've got Divock Origi. So no, I don't think the I don't think the Harry Wilson will quite make it at Liverpool, but I'm always happy to be proved wrong on these things. Nothing would make me happier than a player coming back and proving us all wrong. I mean, Grujic is another one that we have to talk about as well. I know a lot of Liverpool fans would like to see him come back and get some minutes, but then again, if the right money came in, and the right money came in for Wilson, and that helped us fund maybe a move for Houssem Aouar, or a move for Ben White, or a move for a backup left back for Andy Robertson, you'd probably have to look at it, particularly in this market. Connor said, why is there a floating head in the chair? Do you know? Camo, mate. Do you know what I mean? Full camo. Full camo wanker. Right. Hi, Craig. Who's the Pratt former Liverpool player? El Hadj Diouf or Danny Murphy? Oh, look. As much as I had a banter about Danny Murphy, El Hadj Diouf is nothing but a prick. There's just nothing redeemable about that man whatsoever. He was shite when he was at Liverpool. He spoke shite about Liverpool since he left. He's belittled Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher. And he's just a scumbag. I don't know what else to say. El Hadj Diouf, I've got no time for, no respect for. I wish he never wore the Liverpool shirt. He's just a horrendous human being. He'd just fuck him, honestly. Nah. So as much as I bantered about Danny Murphy, El Hadj Diouf is in a whole another category for me. We also have Kane and Glatzel as well, said Malcontent. Glatzel, yes, Glatzel coming back from a very long injury. And for those of you who don't know about Glatzel, when Bobby Duncan was banging in goals, so was Glatzel. Glatzel and Bobby Duncan were going head to head. They were banging in 30 goals a season each. Absolutely wonderful talent and very good to point out, Malcontent, mate. Great shout that. Anelka or Heskey? Heskey. I think Anelka might have been a better player, but, you know, Heskey had some good moments. I mean, I think Heskey was underrated by a lot of people. Prime Emil Heskey was a very good footballer. Absolute quality player. Anelka was class. I love Anelka, but I'd have to go Heskey. I wish Anelka had signed on full time, by the way. But I'm still baffled as to why we didn't make that loan move permanent for Nicholas Anelka at the time, because he did quite well when he came into Liverpool. How are the family? They're good, thank you, Mark. Really good, mate. Yeah, Lucas was out today for the first time since March. I don't mean outside, like he's been in the back garden. We've brought him to the park and stuff, but he went to the shop today for the first time with his mask on, of course, because he wanted to buy some toys. He had some money and he wanted to buy himself a toy, so you can't pick the toy for the kid. So yeah, we waited till a quiet time and my wife brought him to the supermarket. But yeah, they're all good, thank you. All healthy and all smiling, and that's the main thing. Henderson or Gerrard? As what though? What's the question? Gerrard's a better player than Henderson. There's nobody will deny that. But they're both amazing captains of this football club. Both European Cup winning captains. Hendo obviously a Club World Cup winning and a Premier League winning captain. But look, Steven Gerrard carried this club on his shoulders for a very long time, and he's a god almost, Steven Gerrard. So I'm not touching that question with a barge pole, mate. What players would you loan out next season? From my experiences, where would you loan them out? The real, I suppose, key question is two loans. Queevy and Kelleher and Raheem Brewster. What happens with them? Now, Raheem Brewster obviously is doing really well at Swansea, but I'd like to see him in the Premier League. So if Leeds came up and Leeds wanted to add a player to the ranks for a season without having to drop a whole lot of money in the window, particularly with what's going on right now, I think Raheem Brewster would be a good move for them. Sheffield United would be a shout for Raheem Brewster to go and play with Chris Wilder, Sheffield United as well. There's going to be a lot of players loaned out though, a lot of the younger players loaned out. But yeah, it's a tough one, because I think Klopp will give these guys a chance to prove themselves. He'll watch them in training. But it's tough, man. It's tough because it's very rare that there's a pathway back from loans. And that it works out. I mean, I can't think of too many young players who have gone out on loans, come back and actually made it at Liverpool Football Club. And Kloppo wants to keep the likes of Curtis Jones here. He wants to keep the like of Harvey Elliott here, because he may be able to give them enough minutes and progress them on. But a striker like Raheem Brewster, he needs to go out and score goals. He needs to get his confidence up, and I'd love to see him do that in the Premier League next season. Paul said there's 385 people watching. Thank you very much, by the way, for those that are watching. And there's 113 likes. Yes, please do give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the stream. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Let's see if we can make that number change to 39,900 in the remaining minutes of the stream. We're very close right now. I think we're like 2 or 3 away. So if you are enjoying it, you know what to do. We should have got Gary Mack 10 years before we did. Oh man, what a player he was to come in. I love him for the free kick against Everton. I love him because he was part of that treble winning team in 2001. I love him because of the influence he had over Steven Gerrard's career. And Steven Gerrard has gone on record as saying that Gary Mack was a massive influence for him. And I just love him because he's a top lad, Gary Mack. I mean, who doesn't love Gary McAllister? What a man, like, love him. Who's your favourite Liverpool player of all time? Said Michael Aspen. Robbie Fowler. Mate, Robbie Fowler is my favourite Liverpool player of all time. He's called God for a reason, even though we did say the other day that he's willing to give up that title to Jurgen Klopp. Fair play to him. And actually, he ended his managerial stint in Australia as well recently, Robbie Fowler. So, Robbie Fowler to return to Liverpool as a coach, huh? What do you think? Would we like to see that? I know, I'd fucking love to see it. Robbie Fowler. Imagine Robbie Fowler in there coaching the front three, Raheem Brewster, getting them ready. Whew. The things that man could teach you forward. Man United Forever said, I hope you enjoy every moment of this victory while you can. We'll be back. And to quote the great Fergie, knock you off your perch once again. Thank you for the super chat, mate. And we will enjoy every moment of it. Don't worry. And I've no doubt that you'll be coming back. But I don't think it'll be next year, mate. I don't think, genuinely, I don't mean this as a banter thing because it's United, but I can't see them challenging next season. I think it's still a rebuilding progress there at United. They'll improve, and they have improved. I mean, if Pogba stays and he strikes up a partnership with Bruno Fernandes, that's a very good midfield. But I think the bookies have you guys at 25-1 for the Premier League next year, and I think Chelsea are 16s, and then it's Manchester City who are favourites, Liverpool are second, and I think that's, I mean, you can argue about the City-Liverpool thing, of course, but I think it's realistic to believe that it will be Liverpool and City again next season going head to head, and then it'll be the best of the rest, mate. But we will enjoy it, and I absolutely expect you guys to want to come back and knock us off the perch, as you said, as Ferguson once said. But thank you, mate, for the congratulations as well. Top lad, appreciate it. Klopp paying tribute to Dalglish and especially Gerrard was pure class, like Cape Town Muslim. Nice to see we're getting under the Manx skin, said Stephen Booker. Do you know what? I gotta be fair. This whole thing about rivals not enemies has really sunk home to me over the past week or so, because there have been a lot of top class opposition fans who have come in, congratulated Liverpool. Of course, as I said, there's going to be a bullseye on our back and they're going to want to come and wrestle that title away. But fair play, there's been very little begrudgery that I've seen anyway from opposition fans, and yeah, fair play to them. I mean, I wondered how they'd all react, but yeah, most of them have been class acts that I've seen anyway, or at least my experience on the channel. Joanne said we're 2,279 followers on Hot Mic, and look, we will be using Hot Mic for the match tomorrow, by the way. Again, one thing before we finish up, we are also active on Instagram and Twitter, so particularly on Instagram, by the way, we're being very active on Instagram. So if you give us a follow on here and you like what we do on a YouTube channel, make sure that you give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram as well. At Anfield Agenda is the handle for both of those accounts. We do some live videos on there. Connor posts up images and news stories and stuff, but we're going to be a lot more active over the summer on the Instagram account. So if you're an Instagram user, please do check out the Anfield Agenda Instagram page, and hopefully you enjoy it. I think that you will. Right, what else have we got? Fan Statistica said, enjoyed the chat today, Craig. Keep up the great work. Thank you, mate. I'm getting used to your name. I remember when you first became a member, and when you were sending in super chats, I was really confused about how to pronounce that name, but really appreciate it, mate. And I appreciate all of you guys. It still baffles me that we've got fans from around the world that watch this channel, and myself and Connor did a video chat with the supporters club of Pune. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pune in India, an official Liverpool supporters club. We did a video chat with those guys the other day, and it was an absolute pleasure to chat with them. A lovely group of people, real proper hardcore Liverpool fans, you know every single detail about the club. We really appreciate the invitation to go on and chat with those guys, and I think it's up on their YouTube page if you want to check it out. I think it's OLSPC or something like that, but it's Pune, the official Liverpool supporters club, and thank you for bringing us on. It was great fun. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that a night. Thank you as always. Just a reminder that tomorrow there won't be a late night agenda. We will be covering the West Ham Chelsea game as a watch along on both Hot Mic and on YouTube. Let me just get the Hot Mic image up for you, just in case you haven't downloaded the app and you want the sign up code. The sign up code is Anfield, all capital letters. The app is completely free. It syncs up our commentary to your television for the game. Then on Thursday, of course, we'll be back with the Reds game against Manchester City, followed up by a post-match reaction show as well. Thank you very much for your time as always, ladies and gentlemen. Great to chat to you all. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, for the watch along, but if not, I'm sure I'll see you guys on Thursday. Most importantly, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and most of all, from all of us at the channel, we love you. Thank you for your support. We're going to hit 40k really soon. You're a bunch of legends. Hit that subscribe button before you head off. And up the motherfucking Premier League champions winning Reds. Go on!